and he's 7 years old. The justice is 7 months, Chance is 7. I said, Chance, you know who Daddy's gonna go perform for tonight? He said, who? I said, Andrew Yang. You know what he said? He said, the UBI guy? Dang, Daddy, that's cool. So yeah, the UBI guy. You wanna go? No? Because he's at home playing Minecraft. I'm not mad at that, at least he's building, right? Minecraft, I mean, I like that. I'd rather that than Mario Party. But I was like, you don't want to go watch Daddy perform for Andrew Yang? He's like, nah, it's okay. I was like, you don't want to meet Andrew Yang? He thought about it for a second. He said, I do want to meet Andrew Yang, but I don't want to go. So as I'm walking out, this is what he said. He said, Daddy, but it's okay. I can meet him when he goes into the White House, right? So Zach, make sure I'm at least a +1 on Inauguration Day, okay? Or +2, because my wife will probably want to go too. I'm +3, I'll bring the baby as well. So yeah, this next track, I'm gonna get out of here, because I'm excited to see the rest of the people coming up here. We got laughs, we got inspirational talks, we got everything, but this song is special because I wrote this song that I'm about to perform right after the LA rally, and this was the first time that I'm ever sharing it with the world. I don't know what's gonna happen with this song yet, but I feel like it would be an injustice if I didn't do it here tonight. This song is called Finally Free. And I think what caught me, not off guard, but that was the most inspiring and engaging at the LA rally was how diverse the crowd was. I was looking at this person like, I don't look like you, you don't look like me, why would I want to? That's how it should be. We just all wanna be free. Free, free. You agree?
That's right!
So I don't care what you look like in here right now. Most of you have the same complexion as me. But even if you don't, I love you just as much. Or maybe even more. So this song is called Finally Free. All you need to do is repeat, free, free, free. You don't have to do that with your hip, by the way. I do it, but here we go. Put your hands up. Are you guys having fun tonight? Real easy. I don't look like you, you don't look like me. Why would I want to? That's how it should be. So just close your eyes and it's plain to see what we just all wanna be free. Put your hands up, New York. Free, free, free. We just wanna be free, free, free. We just wanna be. The real me would hate me. Meanwhile, the fake me is safely on stage with my game face looking shaky. Maybe the stress is consuming. Maybe I'm just that human pursuing perfection that can't be achieved. It's true if that's what you so choose to believe. No, the disguises are done. Where do I find hope in the eyes of my son? A kiss on the cheek from my wife and I'm strong. Reason why I wrote this song, I don't look like you. Oh, I definitely don't look like you. You look more like Zach. Put your hands up, New York. Close your eyes and it's plain to see that what we just all wanna be. Hold somebody's hand right now. Free, free, free. We just wanna be free, free, free. We just, little girl, come here, free. Stand on the table, stand on the table. Come here, together, be careful, come on. Together we're free, what does that mean? If everyone's woke then it's not just a dream. Man, the stuff that we've seen, no matter what, stuck on a team. I'm talking about the haves and the have-nots. Let's take it back to simpler times before division lines. When we was all what? Little kids in the sandbox. Yo, it need to be. All we gotta do is see you and me. Respect, love, humanity. Everybody just wants to be free. I don't look like you, you don't look like me. Why would I want to? That's how it should. Put your hands up like this. Just do what Uncle Jim does. Are you ready? I'm about to pass you the mic. We just all wanna be free. Take it away. Free, free, free. Free, free, free. Together we're give him a cool rapper pose. Just do whatever comes to mind. That's actually pretty cool. High five. Thank you, Audrey. I'm not paying you for that, by the way. Clearly, I want a daughter really bad. Anybody have a daughter here? I mean, not that I want to take them, but I'm just saying if you have a daughter, what do you do? Hey, when you, promise me, when you have the daddy-daughter dance with her, down the line, whether it's 20, 30 years, make sure you do a little two-step for me, okay? Thanks, man. Thank you, Audrey, for that. Hey, listen, my time is up, man. That was amazing. You guys are the best. A lot of times when I go to the rallies, when I go to these different events, they're like, thank you for coming, Jin. Thank you for being invested in the campaign. Thank you for your support. I feel like it's actually the other way around by 1,000 times. Thank you for letting me be a part of something so amazing. Yang In, are you ready? For 2020. Let's take this thing all the way to whatever the address is on Pennsylvania Avenue. There's something like 1600 or something like that, I don't know. Like 4400, I don't know. New York City, peace out. Good night, God bless y'all. They gave me another hour. No, I'm just kidding. I wish. I'll be like, who needs Netflix? I got the cutting room. Nah. All right. So I have the privilege now, actually. Whoa. This is definitely an honor. Because, I was chatting with this young man backstage, telling him that what he's doing with his art, with his platform, with his voice, is mad inspiring. Not only to the general public and to the Asian American community, of course, but for me, selfishly, I'll share this, just as someone who's recently discovered stand-up, recently figured out, man, this is such a beautiful art form that we can use to tell truths, to laugh at others, laugh at ourselves, laugh at humanity, but ultimately it's bringing everybody closer together. It was an honor to meet him backstage, and it's an ultimate honor to bring him up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, New York City, make some noise for Ronnie Jin!
Chef Zoo! Keep it going for Shoreline Restoration Project! Keep it going for the one and only MC Jin! Keep it going for yourselves! Keep it going for yourselves! Let's go! Couldn't do it without you! Cold Sunday night in New York City. I appreciate you guys coming out. You know, spending your time here. More importantly, your money. Thanks so much for that. Really, money is what we pretty fair. You can leave right now if you already paid. It's great to be here supporting this campaign. Good to be here in America. What's going on in America in 2019? Measles is coming back, right? Bring back measles. Why not? Why not bring back measles at this point? How much worse can it get? Every year, America becomes more and more hipster. It's time to bring back organic small batch diseases. All these stupid anti-vaccination idiots reading some bullshit on the internet, getting brainwashed, not vaccinating their children. Yo, the internet is making people so fucking stupid. Like, who knew all of human knowledge could make people dumber? Like, in 50 years, we're gonna look at the internet the same way we look at smoking right now. It's gonna be like, man, I can't believe 50 years ago, we just let pregnant people use the internet. What the fuck were we thinking? We just use the internet while pregnant, we use the internet in front of babies, we let babies use the internet. Like in 50 years, we're gonna have special areas outside buildings where you can use the internet. Internet designated zones, 50 feet from every entrance. Right? Don't bring that internet indoors. The secondhand stupidity is the real killer. What else is happening in America? Equifax stealing all our data and leaking it. What an underreported story. Third-party credit bureaus stealing our data and leaking it. What the fuck? Like, yo, when I first moved to America, I found out what third-party credit bureaus do. I couldn't believe it. It's like, yo, I know how much money I have. The bank knows how much money I have. What the fuck are these people coming in? Yelp reviewing my credit. And they fucked it up. They leaked everything. It wasn't like they're doing an awesome job and then they fucked up once. They were doing a shitty job the whole time. Yo, I couldn't believe. Do you know that if you check your credit score with the third-party credit bureaus, they just lower your score? Where else in society is that an acceptable policy? Like you go to the doctor's office and you're like, excuse me, doc, I'd like to test for herpes, please. And the doctor's like, just by you asking me that question, I'm gonna have to give you herpes. Doesn't make any sense. And they fucked it up, they leaked everything. Everything's on the dark web. But don't worry, the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, sued them on behalf of everyone and they won. That's right. So everyone affected is gonna get $50. Problem solved. And this isn't a joke, that's actually the truth, that's what happened. And this isn't a joke as well. In order to claim your $50, you have to go to the Equifax website and enter your data. How many times are we gonna give these fucking people? Why am I giving you my data? You had my data. If you don't have it, who the fuck has it? I never thought I'd be in front of an actual campaign doing this joke or whatever. I'm telling you, man, we need more Asian people in this country, man. It's not enough. We need more Asian people in this country. I'll tell you why. Because we are the only objective referees in the ongoing race war between white and black people. Because they don't care about us. And we don't care about any of them. So they can trust us. We tell you things, there's no agenda. We just give it to you straight because we don't care. Like lately, there's been a lot of skirmishes in America between white and black people. Right? White people calling the police on black people for very innocuous activity, like barbecuing in the park, or entering their own homes. So yo, next time you feel aggrieved, don't call the police. Call the Asians. We will come in and arbitrate any situation for you, impartially and without bias, because we don't care. Like if you called us into Starbucks that day, we'd be like, yo, these two black guys are just sitting down drinking coffee. Why don't you drink your latte and shut the fuck up? Because we don't care. Because our skin is not in the game. Literally, NFL, NBA, our skin is in none of those games. So we don't give a fuck who's kneeling at what, okay? I don't care about your fantasy football draft analysis. We just want shit to work. Asian people in America just want shit to work. We need an Asian president, man, I'm telling you. Right? Andrew Yang in the White House, we will fix this shit in a week. Promise you, give us a solid 8 days, you'll see results. Because we don't care, we just want things to work. Imagine harnessing the power of Asian people in government. Oh my god, all the Asians in government just going on the list of broken things, fixing it, one by one, with no agenda, just pure logic. That's pretty good, that works, separation of powers is awesome, that works most of the time, that's fucked, Environmental Protection Agency's fucked, Medicare's fucked, do your fucking job, just slapping people in the face. Right, government shutdown, every 9 months in this country there's this congressional gridlock, everyone threatening a government shutdown. Yo, government shutdown? There's no government shutdown with Asian people in charge. We don't shut down for anything. We don't shut down for Christmas, do you understand? We work through public holidays. Any city in America, when it's 3 a.m. and you're hungry, where do you go? You go to Chinatown, that's where you go. Those things are affordable, delicious, and open. Does that sound like a country you want to live in? We don't shut down for anything. Thanksgiving means nothing to me. Do you have any idea how meaningless the concept of Thanksgiving is to me? Fuck turkey, it's dry. I'd rather fix healthcare than eat turkey, how about that? Please vote for the Asians. We'll work while you're eating. And we got the votes, Asian people. We got the votes. I'm telling you, it's right there. Everybody loves us. It's right there, waiting for us. Jewish people will vote for us. Yeah, because like I just said, we're the only ones who cook for them during Christmas. They're already loving the flavors. Italians and Greek people will vote for us because we have a shared history and culture of family-based food activities. Also, we beat our children. You know what it takes to make good people. Black people will vote for us because we're not white. I'm not saying it's automatic. I'm just saying all things equal, they're gonna go with the not white tiebreaker. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? You can't take the black vote for granted, but if you get the overtime, you have the advantage. And Latinos and Indian people will vote for us because I don't know, we have rice in our cuisine. Okay, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Also, we beat our children. Really, the beating of the children is the thing that unites most of the races. Into the fist that beats the children. Think how inspirational that would be if we have the first Asian president. What an inspirational message that would send to Asian children. Everywhere in America. If you have the first Asian president, you could go up to Asian children anywhere in America. You can finally say, hey, listen, buddy, you don't have to be just a neurosurgeon. The sky's the limit. There is no bamboo ceiling. If you shut up and work even harder, then you're already fucking piece of shit. I'll get behind that message, alright? And it gives me great honor right now. Are you guys ready to see who you came here for? What an honor and a privilege it is to introduce your next president of the United States, Mr.
Run for president, my wife Evelyn Yang. Whenever anyone thanks me for running for president, which does happen, I say thank my wife.
Thanks, Evelyn. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Ronnie Chang, MC Jin, Chef Soup, Channel Restoration Project, and then someone who might not have gotten credit, Mr. Brian Yang. Where's Brian Yang at? Brian Yang is so OG Yang Gang that he put up Yang 2020 on his Facebook page, and I was so early that people were like, Brian, you're running for president? And he had to be like, no, my friend Andrew. That's how far back we go. We back 20 years. Who knew that Asian parties was how you prepare to run for president? We had no idea. We were just kicking back. Hey, how many of you all partied with me when we were young? See, there's a few people. I just got back from a magical land called Iowa. And I gotta say, the crowds are just getting bigger and bigger all the time. Iowa, I tell them that this is where history is gonna be made. And I gotta say, the media is missing what's happening on the ground in Iowa. Because I've been going there once a month for the last 2 years. This is my 23rd trip. Yeah. And now when you go, you see the crowds are spilling out into the street. folks are canvassing their neighbors, and their neighbors now have seen a bunch of ads about me and the campaign, and so all of a sudden the conversations are taking a ton of new momentum. And that's only possible because of the generosity and support of people like you here tonight. So thank you all so much for believing me in the campaign. I get the sense that a lot of you are pretty hardcore Yang Gang. So I'm going to try and go deeper into the campaign. I'm not going to give you the customary stump. You can go to a site called YouTube and probably find like the interest. And so if you're just here and Yang curious, just go to YouTube after, don't worry. But for the folks who are here in hardcore, you're like me, you're a numbers person. I want to go through some of the numbers that are getting us so excited here in the field. Thanks to people like you, we raised $10 million last quarter in increments of only $30 each. So my fans are almost as cheap as Bernie's. But there are a lot of them. It's a very cheap gang to join, and you all are way above average members of the Yang Gang. You're like, I didn't donate $30 to be in this place. Yeah, you all are like senior members of the gang. One of the fun things about being on the debate stage is you actually hang out with some of the other candidates. And this past time I saw Bernie this week in Atlanta, and I thanked him because Bernie said he liked me to a journalist. And then when he said he liked me, I was like, Bernie Sanders likes me? I'm all like happy. I've been around him like a dozen times and I had no idea he liked me. Because he doesn't really give you that, vibe. Oh, it's true. He's just like his SNL character. He's going around. So I saw him, and then during one of the commercial breaks, I was like, "Hey, Bernie, thank you for saying nice things about me, like to the journalist." And then he like did something he'd never done before. He put his arm around me, and I was like, "Of course I like you, Andrew. Bringing a lot of good ideas to the table." I gotta say, I felt like a proud nephew. I was like Uncle Bernie. What's Bernie's arm around me? I was a Bernie guy last time. I don't know. Yeah. Bernie guys last time. But then I voted for Hillary. I'm not like. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm pro-civilization. Let's put it that way. So after I got off the debate stage in Atlanta, I met with Martin Luther King's son, Martin Luther King III. And imagine sitting there and talking to someone, you're talking about Martin Luther King, and then he uses this sentence, "Dad said this." Wow. And then you're just like, Martin Luther King's your dad? And of course your dad, because that's why I'm meeting with you, but then you're still like, psh, like, freaking dad? Like, you actually had conversations with him about universal basic income? Seriously. So we're in Atlanta, met with Martin Luther King III, which was an inspirational experience. Then we had events in Atlanta, then we went to South Carolina where the crowd's also bigger than ever. We just put up 4% in South Carolina without any advertising. Yeah! And so the numbers that get us so excited is that our polling has gone up essentially 1% a month for the last number of months. We started at 0. I remember the 0 days quite well. The 0 days were the days when everyone's like, I'm not campaigning with you. And then it went to 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then now it's around 4. And all of this has been without advertising, Yang Gang. A lot of the movement you see in the polls is because people have been spending millions of dollars on advertising in the early states. We just started advertising thanks to supporters like you about 2 weeks ago. And there's a 3 to 6 week lag time between when you start advertising and when you see a bump in the polls. So I can say to you with absolute certainty that you're going to see an uptick in our polls in the next 1 to 3 weeks. And if you dig deeper into the numbers, everything we've seen has us really excited about what's to come. Because people who've been through this a number of times say that this is the most fluid, dynamic field in history. Where people say they support one of the four frontrunners, but then they say they could change their mind at any time. If you have 4 frontrunners, it turns out you have no frontrunners. And if you look at all of the candidates, you know who has the highest conviction numbers of any candidate? You're looking at in New York City. This 3 or 4% in the early states that say they're for Andrew Yang, they're the most likely to say, I would not be happy with any other candidate, and I am sure that this is my guy. So we have a very, very firm, passionate foundation in the early states, and then the other candidate support is very, very soft. It's one reason why you have someone like Mike Bloomberg being like, if I spent like 500 million or so, I think I might be able to do something here. Because he's seeing the same numbers I'm seeing other campaigns are seeing. The thing is totally up in the air. So we have so many advantages going in, and we're just hitting our stride at the right time. I just met with the entire Iowa team, and they are pumped about what they're seeing. How their conversations, instead of being like, hey, Andrew Yang, and people are like, who? Now it's like, Andrew Yang, it's like, oh, I saw this commercial about him, tell me more. And then the adoption just keeps on going up and up. So we're going to continue to grow and peak at the exact right time when voting starts on February 3rd. Because what's the #1 criteria for Democratic primary voters for the nominee? Beat Donald Trump, that's right. And I am one of only 2 candidates in the entire field that a poll said 10% or more of Donald Trump voters say they would support in the general election. And it has something to do with Ronnie Chang just said, and he was obviously joking about most of that stuff. But a friend of mine's mom who watched Fox News said, of the Democratic field, the only one I would support is Andrew Yang, because he does not seem to be judging me at all. And it's true. I just want to help her. I want to improve the lot of all Americans. And the greatest power we have is that people sense that that motivation is pure. I have no agenda except trying to improve the human condition and the day-to-day lives of the folks that have gotten left behind in the 21st century economy, which unfortunately is more and more of us. Now we're here in Manhattan. A lot of people here are really highly educated, very successful. You obviously have a little bit of disposable cash that you can come out on a Sunday night and throw down on this awesome event. And so we have climbed up through the meritocracy, through the hierarchy in our own ways, you know? But the fact is, in this era, we're all going to be running a race that's going to be harder and harder for everyone. Where artificial intelligence is not just going to displace the retail workers, the cashiers, the McDonald's clerks, the call center workers, the warehouse shelvers. It's also going to start hitting radiologists, accountants, pharmacists. I was an unhappy lawyer for 5 months, which is long enough to know that you can automate away a lot of that job. The meritocracy is deluding us into thinking that people's success or failure depends upon our character or work ethic. But what I say to people is, like, when the robot trucks come, it doesn't matter if the trucker was the hardworking, conscientious trucker or the not so hardworking trucker. The robot's better than both of them. Same is true with the AI and the radiologist, where the artificial intelligence can see shades of gray on the film that no human eye can. And it can reference millions of data points instead of thousands. It's not that the radiologist just got lazy. It's just that technology is getting smarter and stronger all of the time. So we have to evolve from thinking of everything as this cutthroat competition and start to humanize our economy. And I learned this when Evelyn and I had our first son, Christopher. Where Christopher, when he was born, I was a bit cocky. How many of y'all are parents like us? What do you do when leaving your kids at home? No, I'm kidding. I mean, heck, me and Evelyn did too. Our kids don't even realize Daddy's running for president. So I was cocky when our first son was born. I was like, you know, everyone's had kids. Like, how hard could this be? And then if you had your hand up, you realize, like, oh my gosh. It's like, now I like it having a kid to just having a grenade in the house. Your job was just to jump on the grenade, like, repeatedly. You know what I mean? Parents know what I'm talking about. And Evelyn and I were talking about what that means to parents around the country who have these struggles, but often they're doing it alone, or they're balancing 2 jobs, or you know, a kid has special needs and they don't have the proper resources in the community. We realize that this economy is turning on more and more of us in different ways. To me, this is the clear reason why Donald Trump is our president, that we have this economy that's been pushing more and more people to the side. And Democrats seem to have taken the wrong lesson from Trump's victory and have been focusing just on Donald Trump. What I'm saying to folks around the country is that Donald Trump is not the cause of all of our problems. He's a symptom, and we have to cure the disease. You can just consider me America's Asian doctor. And my prescription is money. So Donald Trump said he was going to make America great, and then what did Hillary Clinton say in response? America's already great. Remember that? I mean, I voted for her, but that was not the right response. We have to acknowledge the depth and severity and reality of the problems in America, but then we need real solutions that will actually help move the country forward. Donald Trump's solutions were the opposite of what we need. He said we need to build a wall, turn the clock back, and bring the old jobs back. And we know here in New York, in this room tonight, that we need to do the opposite. We need to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society as quickly as possible. We have to let America know it's not immigrants that are causing these problems. Am I right? Yeah. It's not immigrants. If you go to these factories in Michigan and Ohio, it's not wall-to-wall immigrants. It's wall-to-wall robot arms and machines. Same thing at the Amazon fulfillment center. It's wall-to-wall robots and machines. So we have to let America know that it's not immigrants. We have to evolve in the way we think about ourselves and our work and our value. And I have to say this campaign is hitting home because Americans have been waiting for this message. Americans have been waiting for a diagnosis of the real problems and the solutions that they can understand. That's why we're growing all the time. I decided to run for president a couple of years ago, and I have to say at that time, this was a very unlikely run. There are people here in the room tonight that were among the first people to support my campaign, and I love you for it. People like Brian Yang, people like David Day, and Fiona Singer. I mean, the reactions I got, you know, I'm honest, like the reactions I got, it's like, hey, I'm running for president. And the reactions I got ran from president of what? To literal tears of joy, which like a friend of mine who's here tonight actually like cried when I told him, and then said he'd do anything he could to help me. So I've seen the growth from that time when it was the most unlikely thing in the world to now. And I had a couple of visions for this campaign. One was that I was going to make the debate stage. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great for the Asian American community to have an Asian American on that stage? Because I remember growing up in this country and thinking about what we saw of ourselves, and I imagine being a younger version of myself and turning on the TV and seeing an Asian man standing on that stage and saying, this is totally normal. Asians run for president. And I'm happy to say we've hit that mark 5 times. We're going for number 6. But like the good child of immigrants that I am, never content. Just get greedier and greedier. So we made the debate stage out, but the goal, New York City, is not to last. The goal is to win this whole thing. And I see it clear as day. I see the path ahead of us in the numbers and in the eyes of the people in Iowa and New Hampshire and Nevada and South Carolina. We can win. So the vision I had making the debate stage was one. There have been many, many things that I've visualized for this campaign that we've knocked out each and every time, and then the vision just gets bigger and bigger. But one thing I'm going to share with you all is a story that I tell sometimes where when I was 14 or so, my dad was a physicist for IBM, so he invented stuff. And when I was about 13 or 14, I figured out what a patent was, and I figured out that my dad was generating patents. And so then I said, hey Dad, how much money do you get when you generate a patent? And I was like ready for some big number, right? It seemed really important. And he was like, $200, $250. And then I was like, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. And then he said, I also get paid a salary so I can house, feed, and clothe you and your brother. And I was like, oh, I see. Like, I understand how it goes. But there was one time when he came back home and he was really angry. I was 14 years old or so. And he was mad, and I was like, wow, Dad seems mad. Why are you mad? And he said something to me I'll never forget. He said, at IBM, when you can't invent anything anymore, they make you a manager. And so he said there were a bunch of Asians in the lab and then a bunch of white managers managing them. And I heard this and I was 14 years old, and I was like, wow. And I don't know if he was right, you know, I was 14. But I remember internalizing this sense then that Asians are allowed to become this successful in this country, but we're not allowed to become this successful. And one of the goals I had for this campaign was to show our children that there is no limit to what we can accomplish in this country, that we are just as good and just as American as anyone else. And I'm happy to say it's happening. People are waking up. That we are not just as American as everyone else. We are just as patriotic. We love our families just as much, and we have just as clear a vision and a right to contribute to the future of this country as anyone else. Now I'm going to speak to the Asian Americans. Many of you are Asian. I can't really precisely see you in the silhouette. But as a numbers guy, I also want to be frank about our community. We are a political afterthought in this country. We're a political afterthought for a number of fairly substantive reasons. Number one, we vote less than other groups. Number two, we donate money less than other groups. Present company accepted, so thank you. But raise your hand if this is the first political contribution or political campaign you've ever made. No, so, you know, it's like that. All right. We run for office less than other groups. We tend to live in states that are either very blue or very red. So we're not like swing votes. If we all lived in New Hampshire, we would all of a sudden become very, very important. So what I'm asking you all to do tonight is to move to New Hampshire. In all seriousness, if you do want to come campus in New Hampshire any time in the next 2 months, it would be grand. You just go up there for the weekend. It's actually quite fun. It's delightful. You've got like the fall foliage, a little bit less so now. But you go up there, knock on some doors, talk to some people. They're generally really excited to hear from you because people respond to other people. People respond to passion. Someone just said it's awesome because they canvassed. Yes, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. So there are legitimate reasons why we're something of a political afterthought. And there was a very high-level Democratic official who said to a friend of mine that Asian Americans are regarded as a low-level ATM. Wow. Oh, I know. Whoa, right? Oh, it's true. So there are a number of things we can do about this, New York City. Number one, we can become a high-level ATM. But number two, we can start investing our energies and our support in the candidates that we believe in. We can let people know that we are not going to be content to just watch the politics of America take shape without us at the table. That we're going to fight for a place at that table. What do you think? Anytime I have a tech malfunction, I'm like, it's the Russians. They're always trying to keep me down, trying to suppress the message.
MSNBC! Fuck MSNBC!
What is with MSNBC?
Fuck
I'm like, I've been joking. It's like, did I like run over their dog and like I didn't know it? And it's like, they'll like come to me with a picture of like Rover and being like, Andrew, this is why. It's seriously like a major mystery to me. What the heck is going on? Like I've just been like, John Yang, okay, honest mistake. You know, graphic 1, graphic 2, yeah, maybe you guys are just really bad at your jobs, it's cool. And then like, but I'm actually have to be like, so there's something afoot, you know? And Evelyn was in the room in Atlanta and she saw me like go through the motions where I was like, huh, not calling on me much, let me raise my hand. All right, that didn't work. Let me do the raise both hands. I was like standing there like that. You know, it's like, let me just start talking to the microphone, maybe that'll do something. Like the progression, it was wild. You can almost see my wheels turning, and Ellen was in the room, so she actually saw the wheels turning. So there's a bit of an uphill climb, you know, there's some like headwinds against us, but this group, I talk about the American people are a sleeping giant and the Asian Americans are a sleeping giant. And my goal is for this campaign to be the smelling salts, New York City. We're gonna wake our people up. So we have a lot to ask of you here tonight. You are awesome for being here, for supporting the campaign, for taking some of your hard-earned money, but we need you to push because this is crunch time for the campaign. We're in the midst of Q4, and Q4, we're gonna have to deliver a really big number. So what we need you to do is dig deep, donate what you can, but also bug your friends who weren't here tonight and say, hey, I went to this Andrew Yang event, I think that you should check him out, and then you know which of your friends can afford it. You know. And you know which of your friends you've given money to their stuff, no questions asked, you know what I mean? You know which friends owe you a solid. You know? We need you to reach out to them and ask them to give. Need you to take your favorite article or interview or media appearance and send it to folks. The top end need you to take a weekend trip to New Hampshire like he did. Canvas. He'll drive. After you're done canvassing, you can visit friends and family in Boston. It's like a delightful weekend. And then post pictures of yourself canvassing, and then your friends will be like, wow, like they did that? Like that's really something I need to check out, because people respond to commitment, drive, and passion, but this is our chance, New York City. This is our chance to fight for a future we'll actually be proud to leave for our kids. We have come this far, but this is the last 2.5 months before the voting starts, and we need your help. Are you with us, New York City? I know you are. You are my people, and I love you for it. Let's let the rest of the country know. It's not left. It's not right. It's forward. That is where we will take this country in 2020. Thank you, New York City. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Check. What's up, guys? I'm Zach. Hi, everybody. So, I promised everybody on the way in we're gonna do photos, and it's gonna be amazing. And Andrew makes sure we're very, very efficient, which is awesome. So, if you'd like a photo with Andrew, you gotta do a couple things. Number one, we're gonna line up over here. Number two, you're gonna take your phone out of your pocket. And number three, you're gonna open the camera app, because I don't know where your camera is. Nobody does, okay? I'm gonna be super fast, all right? We love you guys. Thank you for being here. We're lighting the country on fire in 2020. Thank you, guys.